So hello and welcome to Module 14, Routing Concept of CCNA Switching, Routing, and Wireless Essentials. So the objective of this module is to explain how routers determine the best path, explain how routers forward packets to the destination, basic configuration on a router, structure or describe the structure of a routing table and compare static and dynamic routing. So, function of a router. The primary function of a router is to determine the best path to forward a packet based on the information in the routing table and to forward a packet to their destination. So, router uses the process known as routing. So, for example, when a router receives an IP packet on one of its interface, so it determines which interface to use to forward a packet to the destination. So the router uses its routing table to determine which path or route to use to forward a packet. As you can see here in the example, so we have R1 routing table. So we have directly connected, which symbols as C, and then we have a remote network which is S or static. So when R1 receive a packet, for example, in from its gigabit interface, that is destined to 192.168.3 that something IP address. So it will check the routing table for that destination entry and then look on the way to forward it. As you can see here, R1 will be forwarding the packet out to its neighbor 192.168.2.2, which is R2. So the best path in the routing table is known as the longest match. So the routing table contains route entries consisting of prefix, network address, and prefixes. For there to be a match, the destination IP address of a packet and a route in the routing table, a minimum number of far left bits must match between the IP address of the packet and the route in the routing table. The prefix length of the route in the routing table is used to determine the minimum number of far left that must match. So the longest match in the routing table that has the greatest number of far left matching bits with the destination IP address of the packet. So the longest match is always the preferred route. So the term prefix length will be used to refer to the network portion for both IPv4 and IPv6. So IPv4 longest match example. So here in the table, an IPv4 packet has a destination IPv4 address 172.16.0.10. So the router has 3 entries in its routing table that match this packet. So the 172.16.00/12, the 172.16.00/18, and the 172.16.00/26. So of the three routes, the 172.16.00/26 has the longest match and would be chosen to forward the packet. For any of these routes to be considered a match, there must be at least the number of matching bits indicated by the subnet mask of the route. So as you can see here, 172.16.00.10. Okay, so the longest match is /26. An IPv6 packet has a destination IPv6 address 2001 DB8 C000::99. This example shows 3 routes entries, but only 2 of them are a valid match. So with one of those being the longest match. So the first 2 routes entries have a prefix length that have required number of matching bits as indicated in the prefix length. So the third route entry is not a match because it's slot 64 prefix requires 64 matching bit. So we have route entry. So 2001 DB8 C0 slash 40 and 48. So we have here. So this is 16. This is 48. Okay, 48. The network portion is 2001 DB8 C000 or slash 48. So meaning it can be one of the two, 40 or slash 48. Okay. So this is a different subnet, no? 555 slash 64. So, but again, longest match is the best path, ano? So therefore here, yung 2 yung preferred, no? Yung number 2 yung preferred natin for the routing entry. So building the routing table. Ayan. So we have directly connected networks now, as you can see doon sa pag-configure nyo ng router na merong C. Simple, no? Or directly connected. So it is added down to the routing table when the local interface is configured with an IP address and subnet mask, prefix length, and is active state. So we have networks. So networks that are not directly connected to the router. So router learns about this in 2 ways, no? Number 1, static route. So added to the routing table when the route is manually configured. Dynamic routing protocols added to the routing table when the routing protocols dynamically learned about the remote networks. We have also default route. So specifies a next hop router to use when the routing table does not contain a specific route that matches the destination IP address. So the default route can be entered manually as a static or dynamic, learned from dynamic routing protocol. So for IPv4, no? Or IPv6, a default route has /0 prefix. So this is destination network all zeros and destination subnet mask all zeros, no? So this means that no bits need to match the destination IP address for this route entry to be used. So if there are no routes with a match longer than 0 bits, the default route is used to forward the packet. So the default route is sometimes referred to as gateway of last resort. Actually, default route is used, no, on a router. For example, route on your router at home connecting to the internet, no, or an edge router in your company that needed to route to different network to the internet. So packet forwarding decision process. So step number 1, the data link frame with an encapsulated IP packet arrives on the incoming interface of the router. The router examines the destination IP address in the packet header and consults its IP routing table. Then the router finds the longest matching prefix in the routing table. The router encapsulates the packet in the data link frame and forward it out to the outgoing interface. The destination could be a device connected to the router or a next hop router, no? However, if there is no matching route entries, the packet is dropped. So after a router has determined the best path, it could do the following, forward the packet to a device on a directly connected network. If the route entry indicates that the outgoing interface is directly connected network, the packet can be forwarded directly to the destination device. Typically, an Ethernet local area network. So to encapsulate a packet In the Ethernet frame, the router needs to determine the destination MAC address associated with the destination IP address of the packet. So the process varies based on whether the packet is IPv4 or IPv6. So meaning, kung i-draw natin yung topology natin, halimbawa a router, yan, dalawang local area network, ito yung source natin, destination. So yung packet natin arrives at this interface. Okay, so madidetermine na router na dapat siya i-forward dito papalabas, pero kailangan mo nang malaman ni router, since Ethernet ito, yung MAC address nito, no? So ibig sabihin may ARP dito kapag ka Ethernet ARP, or kapag ka IPv6 is neighbor discovery protocol, NDP. Okay, so if the route entry indicates that the destination IP address is on a remote network, meaning a device on network that is not directly connected, no? The packet must be forwarded to the next hop router. The next hop address is indicated in the routing table entry, ano? If the forwarding router and the next hop router are on an Ethernet network, a similar process, ARP or neighbor discovery, will occur, no? So ibig sabihin nito, kung meron tayong R1 and then R2 connected with gigabit, okay, pero destination natin nasa kabilang site, doon sa link na yun, sa segment na yun, merong ARP or neighbor discovery. So the difference is that the router will search for the IP address of the next hop router in its routing table or neighbor cache instead of destination IP address of the packet. So this process will vary for other types of layer 2 networks, no? So sa Ethernet lang merong ganyan eh. Kapag ang exit interface natin ay Ethernet, no? Meron dong ARP na nangyayari. Tapos recursive lookup process. So meaning alam ni router mo yung next hop IP papunta sa destination, pero kailangan niyang i-map yung address na yon sa exit interface ng router natin, which will be discussed in module 15. After a router has determined the best path, now it could do the following. So drop the packet, no match in the routing table. Now, if there is no match between the destination IP address and a prefix in the routing table, and if there is no default route, the packet will be dropped. The primary responsibility of the packet forwarding function is to encapsulate the packet in appropriate data link frame type or outgoing interface, as we already discussed, no, in Cisco 1, no? For every link ng router natin, merong formatting, no, or frame formatting, depende sa protocol na ginagamit. So the primary responsibility of the packet forwarding function is to encapsulate the packet in appropriate data link layer type for the outgoing interface. The more efficiently a router can perform this task, the faster packet can be forwarded by a router. So router supports the following 3 packet forwarding mechanism. So we have process switching, path switching, and Cisco Express forwarding. So ano nga ba yan, no? Ano ba yung mga forwarding mechanism na yan? So we have process switching, ano? It is an older packet forwarding mechanism but is still available for Cisco routers. When a packet arrives on an interface, it is forwarded to the control plane where the CPU matches the destination address with an entry in its routing table, then determines the exit interface and forward the packet. It is important to understand that the router does this for every packet, even if the destination is on the same for a stream of packet. So pass switching. Another older packet forwarding mechanism which was the successor to the process switching. Pass switching uses pass switching cache to store next hop information. When a packet arrives on an interface, it is forwarded to the control plane where the CPU searches for a match in the pass switching cache. If it is not there, it is process switch and forwarded to the exit interface. The flow information for the packet is then stored in the pass switching cache. So, ibig sabihin, mayroong parang remembering dito, no? Remembering of process. If another packet going to the same destination arrives on an interface, the next hop information in the cache is reused, no? Without CPU intervention. Cisco Express Forwarding, the most recent and default Cisco iOS packet forwarding mechanism. So Cisco Express Forwarding builds a forwarding information base and an adjacent table or adjacency table. The table entries are not packet triggered like pass switching, but change triggered, such as when something changes in the network topology. When the network has converged, the forwarding information base and adjacency table contains all the information that the router would have to consider when forwarding a packet. So consider this topology, a dual stack topology with IPv4 and IPv6 addressing. So this is the sample router configuration that we needed for each of a router. So as you can see, we have a command. So for example, configuring host name, putting privilege or encrypted privilege password, securing physical access line console 0. Yan. So the purpose of logging synchronous is that kung napapansin niyo habang kayo ay nagta-type doon sa CLI, biglang may nagpa-pop up na message na akala natin is yung tina-type natin nabura na. Kumbaga napatungan sa screen. So the purpose of logging synchronous is to separate yung logs doon sa tina-type ninyo. So meaning ibig sabihin may magpa-pop up na ng mga messages in case na merong update yung router. Pero still available yung line mo rito. Kung nasaan ka, no? So bigla magpa-pop up itong message yan, tapos nandito yung cursor, no? So hindi mapapatungan sa screen. Okay, for IPv6 we need IPv6 unicast routing para ma-enable yung routing, Okay. Mga optional settings kagaya ng description for labeling the interface, yung purpose ng interface. Ayan. So common verification commands that you may use in case of troubleshooting: show IP interface brief, show running config interface, and then for example gigabit 00, ayan, show interfaces, show IP interface, show IP route and ping. Yan. So in case daw na IPv6 naman yung addressing mo, i-replace nyo lang yung IP with IPv6, So minsan masyadong marami yung masyadong maraming display sa screen natin. Ayan, so yung CLI natin meron naman pong option ito, filtering command, So filtering command can be used to display a specific section of output. So to enable filtering command, enter the pipe character after show command, and then enter the filtering parameters and filtering expression. So the filtering parameter that can be configured after the pipe includes the following, So we have a section. So this display the entire section that start with the filtering expression. So subukan nga natin, no, doon sa ating topology. So kapag ka nag-issue tayo ng show run, no? Yan. So as you can see, isang buong page na yan, tapos may makikita kayo ditong more, no? Ibig sabihin yan, you need to press space bar if you want to display another page, or press enter if you want to display one line, no? Yan, next line, ganyan. So pagka nag-space bar tayo hanggang sa huli, makita natin yung content. Masyado mahaba, no? So what if ito lang yung gusto nyo makita, yung line console, no? Edi show run filtering command section line con. Ayan, so filtered siya sa ganyang output. So meron naman tayong include, ano, this include all output line that match the filtering expression. Okay, so subukan nga natin yung merong IP, no? So show run include IP. So lahat ng line na merong IP. Yan, kahit na yung line na yun na hindi naman talaga nag-umpisa sa IP, no? Basta lahat ng line na merong IP i-display niya. How about you exclude, no? Subukan natin exclude IP. So ibig sabihin wala siya i-display na mga line dito na merong IP na character, no? So show run begin naman, no? Kunyari begin interface G00, pwede kaya? Hindi ba pwede? So begin so nagsisimula sa I, no? Begin IP and so on hanggang sa matapos siya, no? Yung line na yan. So this display all output lines from a certain point starting with the line that matches the filtering expression. Take note that output filters can be used in combination with any show command. So we have different route sources. Routing table contains a list of routes to known networks, no? Prefixes and a prefix length. Or pag sinabing prefixes, network portion yun eh. So the source of this information is derived from the following, no? Yan, so meron tayong directly connected network as you can see here in our router using show IP route. Meron tayong C directly. Wala pa tayong static route dito, eh, no? Yan, dapat yan merong S. Yan, sa dynamic naman maraming klase. Sa dynamic merong O, merong R, merong E or D, no? So the source for each route in the routing table is identified by a code. Common code includes the following. We have L. It identifies the address assigned to the router interface with /32 kung IPv4, /128 kung IPv6. C identifies a directly connected networks. S identifies a static route created to reach the specific network. So yan ay manual, no? This is manual routing. O identifies a dynamically learned network from another routing or router using the open shortest path first routing protocol. Asterisk is used to indicate a candidate default route. So there are three routing table principles as described in this table. These are issues that are addressed by proper configuration of dynamic routing protocol or a static route on all routers between the source and destination device. So every router makes its decision alone based on the information it has on its routing table. Yeah, so for example though, R1 can only forward packet using its own routing table. R1 does not know what routes are in the routing table of other router. The information in the routing table of one router does not necessarily the same routing table entry of another router. So sabi daw dito, just because R1 has a route in its routing table to a network in the internet via R2, that does not mean that R2 knows about that same network. Routing information about the path does not provide returning routing information or return routing information. Example, R1 daw receive a packet with the destination IP address of PC1 and the source IP address of or should be hindi. R1 receive a packet with the destination IP address of PC1 and the source IP address of PC3. Just because R1 knows to forward the packet in its outgoing interface, G00 interface, doesn't necessarily mean that it knows how to forward packet originating from R1 back to the remote network of the PC3. Routing table entries. So, i-dissect natin yung structure ng routing table. So, in the figure daw, the numbers identify the following information. Ayan, number 1, yung O, route source. Ibig sabihin yan, yung router na nag-issue tayo ng show IP route, nalaman daw niya yung route na yan using Dynamic Routing Protocol o SPF. So, in number 2, this is the destination network address and prefix or destination prefix length. Then number 3, administrative distance. This identifies the trustworthiness of the route source. The lower value, the preferred route source. As you can see here, yung OSPF ay may 110. Of course, iba-ibang protocol may kanya-kanyang administrative distance. Anyway, kung directly connected tayo, makikita mo sa bracket yan. Makikita nyo sa bracket, merong C over something yan. Okay. Tapos S, kung static, 1 over something. Yung R 120. Yung OSP ay yung EIGRP kasi D, hindi siya E. This is 90. Yan, over any number na makikita natin dito. Ayan, O, Dynamic Routing Protocol yan. So, halimbawa, kinonfigure mo lahat ng klase ng routing, static, RIP, EIGRP, sa OSPF with the same destination. Pipiliin po ng ating router yung pinakamababang administrative distance. Yan, of course, yung hindi kasama yung hindi to kasama kasi directly connected yan. So ito yung best route yan, yung static, kasi mababa yung administrative distance. Then ito metric 4, This identifies the value assigned to reach the remote network. Lower values indicate preferred route. So ibig sabihin yan, sa OSPF may mathematical operation yan that computes that metric. Ganon din sa ibang dynamic routing protocol. Then number 5, via, then the IP address. This identifies the IP address of the next router to which the packet would be forwarded. And then, yung mga dynamic routing kasi, merong timer yan eh. Ayan, yung 6, route timestamp. This identifies how much time has passed since the route was learned. Possible ma-reset yan sa mababang oras kapag ka nagkaroon ng changes sa topology o kaya nag-power cycle, no? Exit interface. Yan, yung number 7, serial 011, no? This identifies the outgoing interface to use for outgoing packet to reach their final destination. Ito naman yung example natin for IPv6, no? Iba yung format niya, no? Pero same lang din naman, no? Iba yung pagkaka-format niya ng routing table. Yan. Ito yung route source, destination network, and network prefix. So we have administrative distance and the metric. We have the next hop IP and then exit interface. Take note that prefix length of the destination network specify the minimum number of parlep bits that must match between the IP address of the packet and the destination network prefix for this route to be used. So to learn about any remote networks, the router must have at least one active interface configured with an IP address and subnet mask, known as directly connected network or directly connected route. Router add a directly connected route to its routing table when an interface is configured with an IP address and activated. No? A directly connected network is denoted by the status of C in the routing table. The route contains a network prefix and prefix length. So check nga natin. C, ayun o. Network and network prefix. Tapos directly connected and then exit interface. So the routing table also contains local route for each of its directly connected network indicated by the status code of L. So ito ay IP address do sa gigabit natin eh. Yan, na merong /18 na IP na subnet mask, pero dahil siya ay localhost route /32 for IPv4. For IPv6 naman daw ay /128. So this means the destination IP address of the packet must match all the bits in the local route for this route to be a match. No? The purpose of the local route is to efficiently determine when it receive a packet for the interface instead of the packet that needs to be forwarded. So ibig sabihin, kung meron tayong ping packet from PC papunta sa gateway, hindi niya na kailangan pang tignan yung routing table para or i-forward yan sa ibang entries routing table, no? Ayan. So makikita naman niya doon na router itself siya. Ibig sabihin IP address siya ng router. So pa-process niya na kagad yun. No? Hindi niya kailangan pang forwarding process, no? Static route. Ayan. So after a directly connected interfaces are configured and added to the routing table, pwede raw tayo mag-configure ng ng static or dynamic routing. Depende sa pangangailangan natin. Static routes are manually configured. They define an explicit path between two networking devices. They are not automatically updated and must be manually reconfigured if the network topology changes. Static routing has three primary uses. No? It provides ease of routing table maintenance kasi ikaw nakakaalam, no? Bilang administrator. Para lang yan sa smaller network that are not expected to grow significantly. So it uses a single default route to represent a path to any network that does not have a more specific match with another route in the routing table. Example nito, yung isang router na connected sa ISP, default route lang yung configuration dyan eh. Again, kung hindi pa maunawaan yung default route, configuration is on module number 15. So, it routes to and from stub network. So, ibig sabihin, a router, ito yung LAN niya, tapos going to multiple destination. Yung router natin, stub router yun. A stub network is a network accessed by a single route, no? And the router has only one neighbor. So example dito sa topology natin, we have R1 and R2. Yan, tapos how to configure a static route, ganito. So for IPv4, no, yan, IP route. Yan, kasi meron tayong C directly connected. So ito yung wala pa yung 10.04 to /24, no. So IP route 10.0.4.0, yung subnet mask niya. Then yung router 2 IP address, no. Yan po yung next hop router or next hop IP address. Basic example naman, no. Express lang din naman ang syntax, no, ng IPv4 static routing. IPv6 route, destination prefix, tapos yung prefix length, then next hop IP address, no. IP address po yan ni R2. Dynamic routing protocols are used by a router to automatically share information about reachability and status of a remote network. Dynamic routing protocol performs several activities, no, including network discovery and maintaining routing table. So meron yang may algorithm yan. Every dynamic routing may algorithm or instruction for it to be able to maintain connection with its neighbor and to update, no. Automatic update pag kami ito nag-down. Automatic si R2 magbabato yan ng update na wala na ito. So buburahin ngayon ni R1 yung entry niya para dito. Okay. So dynamic routes in the routing table, no. Example nito OSPF, no. OSPF is now being used in our example topology to dynamically learn all network connected to R1 and R2. So the routing table entries use the status code of 0 to indicate the route was learned by the OSPF routing protocol. Both entries also include IP address and the next hop IP, no? Okay, next hop router. So we have O as route source, destination, IP address, and prefix or subnet mask, administrative distance metric, next hop router. Ito yung timestamp, and then or routing timestamp, and then exit interface, no. For IPv6, halos parehas lang din naman. Default route. Okay, kunyari ito si R2. Si R2 going to ISP, usually dapat ang kanyang configuration ay default route papunta sa internet. Ito si R1, pwede rin siya mag-default route papunta kay kay R2. Pero si R2 kailangan specific network para makarating dito So hindi kasi pwedeng dalawa yung default route mo on this side and this side. Mababaliw yung router 2. Or ma-override lang yung i-configure natin. Default route specifies a next hop router to be used when the routing table does not contain a specific route that matches the destination IP address. A default route can be either a static route or learned automatically from the dynamic routing protocol. So kung IPv4 yan, meron tayong entry 0000/0 or an IPv6 route :/0. So this means that zeros or no bits need to match between the destination IP address and the default route. Structure of an IPv4 routing table. So IPv4 was standardized to using the now obsolete class pool addressing architecture, no. Ibig sabihin yan yung kunyari /8/16/24 addressing structure or architecture. The IPv4 routing table is organized using this same class pool structure, although the lookup process no longer uses classes. The structure of IPv4 routing table is still retained in this format. An indented entry known as child route. Check nga natin, indented entry. Indented entry ito eh. Ibig sabihin, child route siya. Ito parent ito eh. Parent route, no? Galing sa /8, subnetted, or naka-BLSM siya. So again, an indented entry is known as a child route. A route entry is indented if it is the subnet of a class pool address, such as A, B, or C. Directly connected network will always be indented, no? Child route daw siya. So because the local address of the interface is always entered in the routing table as /32. So check natin. Indented din siya. The child route will include route source and all forwarding information such as next hop address. Pwede rin static yan, no? Or dynamic. A class pool network address of this subnet will be shown above the route entry, less indented and without source code. That route is a parent route. So again, we have the parent route. Okay, ibig sabihin ito parang summary lang siya. Summary, na nanggaling ang mga addresses na yan dito sa parent address na to, at ito talaga yung actual address na ginagamit natin to forward the packet. Yan. An indented entry is known as child route. A route entry is indented if it is a subnet daw, no, for class pool A, B, or C network. Inulit lang, child route will include the route source and forwarding information. The class pool network address of this subnet will be shown above. Yan. So sa IPv6 iba eh. The concept of class pool addressing was never part of IPv6. So the structure of IPv6 routing table is very straightforward, no? Every IPv6 route entry is formatted and aligned the same way. So we have dynamic source, no? We have directly, we have local host. Ito external OSPF, ito internal OSPF. We have administrative distance. So route entry for a specific network address, such as a prefix and prefix length, can only appear once in the routing table. However, it is possible that the routing table learns about the same network address from more than one routing source. No, for example, meron kang entry static route na nag-configure ka, OSPF, RIP, at iba pang dynamic routing protocol. No? Pero pipili lang dyan ng router mo eh. Pipili lang siya ng best routing protocol or configuration, ano. Kaya nga sabi dito, however, it is possible that the routing table learn about same network address from more than one routing source, except for very specific circumstances, no. Only one dynamic routing protocol should be implemented on a router. Each routing protocol may decide on a different path to reach the destination based on the metric of that routing protocol. So pipili lang siya na isa para install sa routing table. So this raises a few questions such as the following: how does the router knows which source to use? Which route should it install in the routing table? So the Cisco IOS uses what is known as the administrative distance to determine the route to install in the routing table. So the administrative distance represents the trustworthiness of the route. The lower the AD, the more trustworthy the route source. So ito yan. Ito yung kompletong table. So directly connected will always have administrative distance of 0. Static route 1, yung EIGRP summary route 520 naman yung BGP, and so on. So ano bang dapat na gamitin ng static or dynamic? Static and dynamic routing are not mutually exclusive, no? So rather most network use combination of these. Static routes are commonly used in the following scenario. Yan, as a default route forwarding packet to a service provider. Ibig sabihin, isa lang naman yung router mo going to the internet. For routes outside the routing domain and not learned by dynamic routing protocol. So, ibig sabihin, maliit na topology, mga 10 router, no? Pwede rin naman hanggang 20, din, mga 10 router o 15 router, pwede pa yun eh. Pero pagka maabot ka na ng 20 pataas, tapos merong redundant connection, dynamic na dapat gamitin dun eh. When the network administrator want to explicitly define the path for a specific network. Ayan, mas secure kasi kung static route kasi wala na siyang binabatong traffic regarding that route. Okay, hindi kagaya ng dynamic routing na pwedeng makapture sa Wireshark. For routing between stub networks. Ayan, so static routes are useful for smaller networks with only one path to an outside network. They also provide security in a larger network for a certain type of traffics, no? Or links to other network that need more control. Kagaya dito sa topology natin, ito static route ang best dito eh. Pero kung maglalagay ako dito ng redundant link at ang gusto ko ay may backup kapag naputol ito, automatic sasalo ito. And then dynamic route ang dapat gamitin doon, no? So, dynamic routing protocols are implemented in any type of network consisting of more than just a few routers. Pwede rin naman ito sa topology natin kanina. Dynamic routing protocols are scalable and automatically determined better routes. No? Ibig sabihin, kung may redundant connectivity tayo tapos naputol yung primary path mo, hindi na kailangan magsabi yan sa'yo, si router. Automatic yan. Automatic siyang mag-install ng backup route doon sa routing table na yan, no? Hindi na natin napapansin niya bilang administrator. Dynamic routing protocols are commonly used in the following scenario, no? In a network consisting of more than just a few routers. When a change in the network topology requires network to automatically determine another path. For scalability, no? As the network grows, the dynamic routing protocol automatically learn about any new networks, no? Kasi kung static yan, nagdagdag ka ng 10 network, di 10 network na ilalagay mo for each of the router. Okay. So, ito yung comparison, configuration complexity, So, dynamic routing independent of a network size. So, static routing increases with the network size. Topology change, automatically adapt to changes, no, itong dynamic routing. Dito sa static routing natin, kung may naburang may tinanggal na network, pati yung address na kailangan natin tanggalin on every router. Scalability. Yan. So, si dynamic routing daw suitable for a simple to complex network topology. Yan. Itong static routing, simple lang. Simple topology. For security. Yan. Yung dynamic routing naman, meron naman siyang yung route authentication. Para kung sino lang yung mga routers na nasa loob ng network ninyo, sila lang ang magpapalitan ng route, kapag kami nag-install ng ibang router dyan, hindi yon makakakuha ng update or hindi siya pwedeng magbato ng information kasi nga wala siyang parang password, So, yung security must be configured, Ito namang static routing, since hindi siya nagbabato ng traffic regarding sa static routing kasi walang protocol yun eh. Security is inherent, Resource usage. Of course, dynamic routing may algorithm yan eh. May instruction yan. So, depende sa klase ng dynamic routing na gagamitin natin. Meron kasing dynamic routing na medyo intensive sa CPU memory, saka yung bandwidth, ito namang static routing natin, no additional resources needed. Yan. So, path predictability. Dynamic routing, yung route natin depends on the topology and routing protocol used. Itong static routing explicitly defined, by the administrator. Yan. So, history, of dynamic routing. Dynamic routing protocol have been used in networks since 1980s pa, So, one of the first routing protocol was RIP, Routing Information Protocol version 1. Sana ba yung RIP na yun? Ito. Routing Information Protocol version 1, 1988. But some of the basic algorithm with the protocol were used on the Advanced Research Project Agency Network, no, ARPANET, as early 1969. Yan yung EGP, no, IGRP. As network evolved and became more complex, new routing protocol emerged. Yan, hanggang sa yan yung OSPF version 3, 1999, no? Yung EIGRP 1992. Still ginagamit. Ito yung mga common na ginagamit natin yan. OSPF version 2 and version 3, EIGRP. Yan. Itong BGP pang CCNP kasi ito eh. Pero ginagamit yan, of course, no? Sa internet routing, no? Kunyari routing between service provider and the internet. So, dalawang classification kasi ito eh. Meron tayong tinatawag na interior gateway protocol sa exterior gateway protocol. Pagka interior, ibig sabihin, pwedeng internal ng ISP. Sa loob ni ISP, may mga router doon, tapos pwede silang mamili kung anong dynamic router ang gagamitin nila. And to be able to route naman yung kanilang network to other ISP, BGP naman gagamitin doon, no? Yung exterior gateway protocol. So we have interior gateway protocol na nahati rin ito sa dalawa. Meron tayong distance vector and link state. Pagka sinabing distance vector, ang alam lang ng dynamic routing na to, gaano kalayo sa destination at ano yung direction going to that destination. So wala silang database para malaman yung buong topology, no? Hindi kagaya nitong link state routing protocol na lahat ng router may database. Para in case na may mag-down na network, kaya nilang mag-rebuild ng topology. Ayan. So we have for IPv4, ayan, RIP version 2, EIGRP for IPv6, RIP next generation, and EIGRP for IPv6. Link state routing protocol, OSPF version 2 for IPv4, OSPF v3 for IPv6. Yan, di pa ako nakagamit itong intermediate system to intermediate system, no? And then BGP 4 and MP, ano? So a routing protocol is a set of processes, algorithms, and messages that are used to exchange routing information and populate the routing table with the choice of the best path. So the purpose of dynamic routing protocol includes the following. Ibig sabihin kasi utusan mo lang yung router mo eh, no? So diba may topology tayong ganito, ground figure ko kunyari si branch office to use EIGRP, i-advertise lang niya itong address na to, yung directly connected na yan sa neighbor niya. Ganoon din itong si central office, ibabaturin niya yung directly connected niya kay branch office. So mapopopulate niya yun yung ating routing table automatically, no? Kung meron tayong backup dito, alam din ngayon ng router natin yan, no? Kunyari ito yung primary path going to the destination, biglang nag-down, sasalo ka agad dito. Ayan. So it maintains up-to-date routing information, choosing the best path to forward the destination network, ability to find new best path if the current path is no longer available. So the main component of dynamic routing protocol includes the following, no? Yung data structure. Yan, routing protocol typically uses tables or databases for their operation. So this information is kept in memory. Routing protocol messages. Of course, dapat yung kunyari OSPF or EIGRP, dapat merong silang message to be able to build routing table. Okay? Routing protocol messages, no? Routing protocols use various type of messages to discover neighboring router, exchange routing information, and other tasks to learn and maintain accurate information about the network. Algorithm. An algorithm is a finite list of steps used to accomplish a task, no? Routing protocol use algorithm for facilitating routing information and best path determination. Usually sa algorithm, mathematical computation siya. Routing protocol determines the best path or route to reach to each network. So that route is then offered to the routing table. So the route will be installed in the routing table if there is not another routing source now with a lower AD. So the best path is selected by a routing protocol based on the value or metric it uses to determine the distance to reach a network. A metric is a quantitative value used to measure the distance to a given network. The best path to a network is the path with the lowest metric. Dynamic routing protocol typically use their own rules and metric to build and update routing table. Ayan. So yung RIP daw yung RIP, the metric is hop count, no? Ibig sabihin gaano kalayo, no? Each router along the path adds a hop to the hop count, no? So kaya may limit siya. A maximum of 15 hops lang. Pagka pang 16 na unreachable na yan. Yung OSPF naman, the metric is cost, no? Which is based on the cumulative bandwidth from source to destination. Faster link are assigned lower cost compared to slower, higher cost link. So we have EIGRP, no? So it calculates a metric based on the slowest bandwidth and delay value. It could also include load and reliability into metrics calculation. So what if ganito yung topology natin? Yan. So ganyan yung topology natin. Tapos ito yung destination natin. Ito yung source natin, router A, ito router B, C, and D. Tapos network X ito next network Y, no? So when a router has two or more path to a destination with equal cost metric, then the router forwards a packet using both path equally, known as equal cost load balancing. So the routing, sabakan natin kung may usog natin ito, hindi ko pwede. So the routing table contains the single destination network but has multiple exit interfaces, no, on each equal cost path. The router forwards packet using the multiple exit interfaces listed in the routing table. If configured correctly, load balancing can increase effectiveness, no, and performance of the network. So halimbawa ng load balance daw, 512 KB 512 KB. So pare-parehas yung bandwidth natin, for example, no? So pwede siyang magkaroon ng dalawang next hop to the same network, no? So equal cost load balancing is implemented automatically by dynamic routing protocol. It is enabled with the static route when there are multiple static route to the same destination network using different next hop router. So, kagandahan lang ng EIGRP daw, it supports unequal cost load balancing. So, ibig sabihin yan, halimbawa ito, 64 KB, no? 64 din dito. So, pwedeng dayain yung router na to para makita niya or para sa paningin niya equal yung bandwidth dito, no? So, meron niya pandaya, no? So, ganun pa rin, equal, or dito pa rin dadaan yung packet natin, no? Pero sa topology natin, ang tawag yan ay unequal load balance, no? Supported by EIGRP. Okay. So that's all for yung routing concept, no? And then yung comparison between static and dynamic routing. So the configuration will be on the module 15 for static routing, and for dynamic routing will be for next course, no, of Cisco. So I hope this video helps you understand the concept of this topic. So thank you for viewing.